Hey, hello everybody. This is Essay here once again. Wafirian, as my close and good friends, you understand, call me. I want to appreciate each and every one of you where you are watching from all across the globe. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming along in this journey with me. My book continues. Okay, we still in chapter 1. And so we know where we stopped the last time. So I'm just going to carry on from there. Please, if you haven't grabbed a copy of my book, please kindly grab a copy. Okay. My Divine Direction. If you are joining us for the first time, I just want to say thank you. And please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. So once I'm coming online, at least you will get notification bell. Click that notification bell as well if it's there, and that will kind of give you updates or signal you understand in regards to videos coming on my channel. So guys, I have a couple of questions you understand that have come up, but I'm gonna deal with those questions later. We'll deal with those questions later. Might not be you understand today, might be question and answer. So all your questions that are stored in one place whereby you understand we go deal with them one after the other. There are a lot of you understand balls that is coming through. A lot of people want you understand development to really happen in Nigeria. Development is actually ongoing in Nigeria, and we want to do more. Every opportunity that people have to develop Nigeria, let's crack on with it. We know there is unrest in the northern part of Nigeria so much with the terrorism, Islamic, you understand, attacks on Christians. We don't know what the Nigerian government, you understand, are doing. We want to use it, a lot of this, platform to really, really call on the Nigerian government to look into this. We cannot be suffering, okay? And at the same time, people are being killed for nothing. People are being massacred for nothing, okay? Because they are, professing, you understand, their faith. This is ongoing and it has to stop because Christians are submitting to love and kindness and care for their fellow human being doesn't mean that they are dumb, doesn't mean that you understand they are foolish. Or sometimes we take that kindness or patient and tolerant you know too much and think becoming too much. It's going to come to a point that people are going to be defending themselves, whether you understand you're a Christian, or non-Christian, and these people are attacking. We need to step up and start defending, you understand, ourselves. So the advice, you understand, we're going to give, if people can leave those areas and go to a more place, you understand, that is safe, that can be the best advice that we'll be able to give, but at the same time calling on the government of Nigeria to really step up. This is becoming too much. Anyway, we'll continue to progress and push towards developing Nigeria. We have too much uh, illiterate and people who see life differently, and they don't value life. They don't value life. This is really, really saddening to a very great nation of Nigeria. This is what we're talking about. You understand, our generation past, the forefathers, they've created a very wrong, path for this generation and past generation. So we are this generation that knows better should start putting things in place for the generations, you understand, to come, so can make Nigeria a better place. Nigeria is key, to many countries in the world. We are key to many countries in the world. And many governments in the world want Nigeria to develop because it will stop, you understand, migration, and we create jobs, and people will not be rushing, you understand, to leave Nigeria. Nigeria is a great nation. Let's stop the killing. Please, let's stop the killing. Anyway, back to my book. We'll still continue from the chapter 1. The last place that we stop is I mean, make I go to the place when we say we stopped the last time. If you don't get the book, it's gonna be hard for you to follow. I beg, get the book. And getting the book, you understand, you're supporting the cause that we are doing as we are putting a project, you understand, on ground. I'm gonna be running people through as well. And it's very important, okay, for your support, so we can fast forward what we are doing currently. So we'll continue with my journey, which is the basis why I am pursuing, this project, because of where I was coming from, and because there are people that are not privileged so much, in the country, and we are starting from Delta. I wanted to do something like this, you understand, in Akwa Ibom, but that is another story for another time that I'm going to really share and explain to you guys. And the people that were, stumbling blocks, you understand, for development and progress, and not to come. But Nigerians are stepping up. The people who are smart, who are sharp, stepping up and beginning to see things differently. You see that we cannot wait for the government. We have to develop our country. So I stopped at page 8. If you go to page 8 of my book, where my grandparents took me and told my mother, you can come home when you are ready, but we are going to take care of this child. So my grandmother walked into the house that I was laying on the floor, there with my mother by my side, because she was given a tip. They give her a tip, say my mama did one place. They don't it carry picking get child. So for months they've been looking for a way, you understand, to trace her. So one of my grandmother's, you understand, friend, Auntie Lupi, I think it's Auntie Lupi. Just remember if she's still alive. And they trace her to where she was, staying, and she was lying on the floor with me one afternoon when my grandmother walked into the house. And they've been looking for her, and they've been monitoring, you understand, her movements. And so my grandmother didn't even say anything to her. My grandmother, was telling us the story, and said she just grabbed hold of me from the floor. I don't know if you understand. I was couple of years old. I was stricken, you understand, sick. And I think she said something that if it would have passed another month, I wouldn't have survived. I would have died. Because I was malnourished, and I was, sick. And she said, I was in a really, really bad state. So my grandmother, they took me and moved back to a small village called Agbaru. So when they retired, they moved back to Agbaru, near Warri City in Delta State, where they were originally from. This is where I grew up, raised by my grandparents. So Agbaru was where, you understand, and I started, my primary school, and went to Agbaru Primary School, from there to Agbaru Grammar School before I moved to Warri. So we're gonna, look into those stories. We're gonna talk them. Just want to, go through and read it through, so you guys follow suit. As a child, I was very attached to my grandmother. Ubode, her name, Uduko, was a kind-hearted woman of strong ethics and very strict as well, always sure to point us in the right direction. She was also a woman of faith, a Catholic. I would accompany her to church in the early mornings, being there in the presence of God, serving God, served as the foundation of my faith and my character. So my early attachment to my grandmother, going to church every time, actually opened the door for me to be more closer and to have the fixed, experience of church. Then I haven't had a counter as at that time. I just love church. I love the environment. I love, the calmness. I love the way you understand, they behave. So I picked one or two things, and that really shaped my character, shaped my views, growing as a young man. So I could remember those times, just like yesterday, just early mornings, that I'll be going to maths. And so I would accompany her, okay, to church in the early mornings, being there in the presence of God, serving God, as a foundation of my faith and my character. I was very distinctive for my ways, even back then. I was a very kind and respectful child, a very hardworking. I would go and find odd jobs like helping on building sites, mixing concrete, or carrying bricks to earn money for my grandparents. So that's what I was talking about, the hardship. We're growing up and there are no privileges. So my auntie, which is my mom's elder sister, um, she studied actually in the UK. She finished, graduated. She was a lawyer, solicitor. So she had, you understand, something, but she was carrying a lot of responsibility. Both my siblings, my grandparents, and sometimes aunties and uncles, and her two daughters. So there's a lot, on her shoulders. When we're young as at that time, we don't look at those things, that there's a lot of responsibility that this, woman is actually, carrying on her shoulder. I think that contributed to how she behaved, how she was strict. Um, for me, coming to Europe, carrying a lot of responsibility of the family and other, people trying to reach out. I know how, expensive and how demanding it can be. And sometimes you really want to meet some needs and you might not be in the position to meet everybody's needs. So it's really, really challenging. And that is what, you know, looking back, it was really challenging for her. And uh, I'm really grateful for her. Uh, she passed away 1996, just before I left Nigeria. It's another story, we're gonna get there as well. And God used her for the family as at that time. So it was very, 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 very challenging. You understand, for us. So before, sometimes she will send money uh, to the village for our upkeep, or from our grandparents. Sometimes 2 months, nothing has come. So I see my grandmother, you understand, struggling a lot. My grandfather was just there, not too much, involved in the affairs, you understand, and of the children. But he was half. He was in here, in there, not too much, you understand, in the scene, like that, because he's a very reserved guy. He tries life. My grandmother was hands-on. She was really hands-on for us, the children. So I'll go to block sites, block industrial, block industry, where they mod blocks, and they'll sell out for those that was to build, you understand, houses and all these things. So we go and mod blocks. As a very young, but I was thinking I was 8, 9, we go to this site because I see what my grandmother is going through. Sometimes we don't even have, food to eat. It's hard to get a 3 square meal. And I'll look at her. I sometimes would see we come back from school. We used to walk to school, 45 minutes walk to school, 45 minutes back. Sometimes when you come back from school, there's no food. And when sometimes I look at her, I'll move compassion, I'll just go during around 5, 6, and go to this site to look for job, at least to help carry, sand, uh, concrete, and other things, to help and assist and get a little change. And once I get those little money, I'll come back, give it to her to help you understand, prepare food for the home. So right from beginning, that has been my kind of person. So as we got older, and bridge to earn money and grandparents. Austin, however, my older brother was, different. Was different from me. It was different from me. That guy was like a terror. He's born again now. He's on track, on point. But when we were very young, oh my God, it was handful. So as we got older, he became more and more difficult, running with a bad crowd and stealing from our grandparents. It was a very challenging time. I also really gave my grandparents, a tough time. I think looking back now, there's no youthful exuberance, but it was just too much. It was too much. It was a terror. Sometimes actually he creates a lot of problems. So sometimes I used to pray, when am I going to leave this house? Because we, get into heated arguments and all those things, sometimes. And the way, I behave to my grandparents sometimes, I can't stand it. So, but as children, as at that time, it was too much. I didn't see my mother very, I didn't see my mother very often. She would visit maybe once a year, once every 2 years sometimes. I called her auntie. So our mother was not really there when we moved back to Delta from Lagos, when our grandparents retired, because we lived with them. And when they move us back, when we can go back to Delta, to Agbaru, we're not going to see our mother again. Not see that woman now. So sometimes when they even visit once in a while, now auntie they call her. So we start calling her auntie. We call our grand mother mother. We don't call her grand, we call her mother. She's the one that we see as a mother. And when our mother, real mother, you understand, shows up, sometimes bring gift, buy clothes and other things once in a while to come and see us. We call her auntie. We know it's our mother, but we call her auntie. You know, that is kind of the relationship, you understand, that we had. And it was hard because we don't have a real father and a real mother, grew up with. So grew up with our grandparents. Oh, sad. So it was only when my grandparents explained to me later that I learned that she was actually my mother. Sometimes when we're growing up, we didn't actually realize our mother. So our grandparents said, "Now your mama be that." So that's how we realized. She passed away carrying her last child. I was around 12. So I can remember, that time, we still did scrap for those age things and all those things. But I remember that could be between 10, 12, you understand, years, when she passed away. Um, she died with from childbirth when I was giving birth to our last born, Millie. Immediately she gave birth to him, Emmanuel, she passed away. She died. We were very young, didn't even know much. I think I was in school. I could remember that I was called in school one time and they told me, so I should go home. Even before school was closed, they said I should go. I said, why? I said, they're waiting for me at home. I have to walk home. When I go home, my grandmother was crying on the floor. The news came from Lagos that, my mom has passed away. We didn't feel it so much because our grandmother was our mother. So we didn't feel it, you understand, much. See kids now, I think I was in GS1. I would call it now, secondary school. That one. So, my outlet was always football. It was my grandfather Jerome Oduko that first encouraged me to play. I was very good from an early age. I even captained my primary school, Agbaru Modern Primary School. I dreamt of becoming a world-class player, excited about this gift I could use. I am going to become somebody. I want to be a star. When opportunity came to go to Norway for the Gotia Cup, I needed a passport. My grandmother begged friends and family to borrow money, but nobody gave any. It, it wouldn't been the last time a passport could have helped my football career. So that period, mm, I have now moved to Warri because my auntie wanted, you understand, she loved education so much that I really wanted to go to the city. So I went to her, or went on holiday to Lagos, and I told her that I want to play football. Is there any way she can just put me on a sign a club so I can just play football? He said you have to, you understand, finish school, you have to go to school. So we agreed that's okay. Let's try. So I had written exams, you understand, to be able to move to the city. And I was, given admission at Delta Careers College. So that is our first move. To my first move to Warri, to Delta Careers College. I started my GS3. So GS1, GS2, GS2 in Agbaru. Then I moved to Warri to start my GS3. So I lived with our family, a family member in that house, a family member which is an auntie. She had 5 children for the man. She's a retired police officer. Uh, his name is Akboji, in Warri. So we lived with them. We're about 16 in the house. Akboji is late now. He had 12 wives and 33 children. 12 wives, he has 12 wives and 33 children. Police officer. Anywhere the guy go, they mash them anyhow. I didn't even understand until I lived with them. So that was another experience, you understand, for me. I went through a lot, you understand. In that home, I was treated, you understand, like a slave. But at that time, I didn't look at that, but was challenging because I washed everybody's clothes early morning before we go to school. Before I go to school like this, they would pile clothes for me to wash. How old was I? About 13, about 13. And I will wash clothes. Everybody will be going to school. I'll be the last one to leave. And I will walk to school. It was so bad that sometimes when I finish school, I don't want to go back home. Because I'll be excited in school, I'll be playing. I'll be immediately the bell goes. Bam, 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 close of school. That's, you know, disappointment, that heaviness will just be on my shoulder. Because I'll be thinking, oh, I'm going back to the house. I'm gonna be washing plates. I'm gonna be, you understand, being screamed at. A lot, you understand, what's happening, and it was so bad, but I have to endure because. But I still had great experience there. So it was there, you understand. I joined a school. I really wanted to become a professional player, and I joined a club in Warri. I got to Warri, joined a club, Dynamos. I joined that Coach Mike. Koshi, I beg no vex. So I left Nigeria. I didn't see that coach, long time. I lost contact. When I went back to where I tried to look for him as well, I couldn't find him. My movements in Nigeria, once I get to Nigeria, I don't stay one place, you understand, for a long time. So I joined Coach Mike, and it was bad because my auntie did not see me play football. Not my auntie in Lagos, which is my which is my mom's elder sister, my mama's senior sister. That one in Lagos, that one a lawyer. This auntie that was living with a family member, okay, for my grandmother's side. I think her mother and my grandmother are related. So that is how the family come together. So I lived with them. but she was more than strict. She was the vice president of Berikoko Grammar Secondary School. Berikoko Secondary School. She was the vice principal as at that time. This is 90, 93, 93, 94. Yeah, 92, 92, 93, 94. So, tough woman, strong. Okay, but that strongness, you understand, was too much. Sometimes was too much. You don't have Nigerian home, family home there. So, I will hide to go and play football with Dynamos. You know, I become very good. You understand? I improve a lot in my game. All these ones, you understand, go come now. Because that time when I did Agbaru, I did fire. Fired up now, football day body. Friends and all those things, you understand that with me. We play football, you know. Another story we stick on when I got to Agbaru, there were a few guys that we played together back, you know, in Agbaru. They were kind of older than us at that time. And one of them was playing in England. Soji, Fetobori Soji. You guy, you misbehave, man. You misbehave. That's how I came to Leeds. I was invited by Leeds United there. Make I not go too much. Make I take on small as I they talk, because it's in they come like that. So I got selected to go to Norway with we set for, you understand, Joseph Inakarire. I think it's one of my sets, you understand, that really, you know, popped out and represented Nigeria. Joseph was our defender at that time, you know, the midfield. We wanted to work, you understand, to go to Gotia Cup. So you know some Ukomo, all those guys, you know, we play together. Tega Oruma. They will Tega that time. Tega Oruma. Tega, where is this? We meet those guys for Italy. Another story, we'll get to Italy side, Europe side. So this is how, you understand, I lived there. Sometimes I would be cooking at the 13-year-old, I'll be cooking for almost 16 people in the house. Sometimes the girls that will live in the house, they will say the money not there enough. But my grandmother, you understand, trained me very well. Or my grandmother trained me very well. So I know how to go to the market, you understand, buy a few things. So with the mentality of management, the mindset, you understand, you know, how I was brought up in the village, that I took that to the city to worry, to now put that into practice. So when the guys say now, just tell the father of the house anyway, my aunties, you understand, husband, call him daddy. So daddy, give me the money, man, go market. He say first time that I say give me money, make I go market. Say where you go market? You this, you understand, you know, small but I say no, daddy, don't worry, make I go, I'll go. If the guests don't go, we'll go hungry now, I'll go back. So he just very reluctant, put the money on the table. Say he in there come, tell them they take up. I just took the money, went to the market, got a few things, you understand, use the money, organize, and I cook the first soup in the house. We have some university guys in the house, like Agent Akere, these guys. Agent, a tall guy like that. We still have Victor. Victor is late now. My aunties, you understand, children. I don't want to go back to all those things, man. It's really painful. But so we have some few guys, you understand, in the house with the girls and everybody, us in the house, about 16 with the other, you know, little young ones. So I cooked this big pot of soup. When they tasted it, I said, oh boy, I can remember now, I can't forget. He came, he said, this is your food. Who teach you how you sabi cook like this? You know how to cook like this? I think you should go and open a restaurant. We should open a restaurant for you. I remember that time. Man. So from that time, you know, the dad sometimes he supports me as a little bit, you understand, of respect. So we're supposed to go to Gotia Cup and we just have to do a passport. So at that time, I remember. And I went back, you know, to tell my grandmother, and she really wanted this for me because she know I love football. And I've been telling her I want to become a star to play football. So she went and looked. As at that time, the money was about I don't even remember that much again. 2,500 naira. I think it was about 2,500 naira. I'm not sure. Yeah, 20. 20,000 naira. I think it's about 20,000 naira, 2005, 20,000 naira. I can't remember. But my grandmother went to people, begged for me to get that money to do passport for me. Even the ones I have, they didn't give. I cried. My grandmother cried. And that is when, you understand, I made up my mind that once I leave this village, I'm not going to come back. Probably it could be 30 years before I come back to that village. So, yeah, that was my first experience of, people really showing their true side. But when it's going to beg to borrow to help do all this thing, they will give you. But now, I think at that time, which my grandmother told them I want to do passport because I want to travel with a team. Nobody. But they have abundance, but nobody. So nothing happened. I couldn't go with that team to Norway. It was Norway, Sweden, Denmark from Gotiako. So I couldn't go with them. And then went back to Warri, continue my stuff. So after studying at Agbara Grammar School, I went on to finish secondary school at Delta Careers College in Warri. I moved to live with a relative of my grandparents, Auntie Lupia Pojinomi. I went through hell in that house. Every morning I had to wake up at 4:30 a.m. to wash clothes, clean the house, and cook food. And then I had to go to school. I hated it. It was only when I was around 14 or 15 that I realized that I had to move out and challenge myself. And it took more than just this hardship. It was serious. It was hard. It was hard. Because at that time, what I was going through, boy, not easy. In life, you need to toughen up. You need to those things now those hardship and those things, you understand, built me up solid, you understand, me up, that was strong mentally when I was on my quest, you understand, of movement. So when I believe in God and I had faith in God, it was strong, because make I not go too much, make I come back, Wafi, come back, I beg, leave that thing, you know, overload, you understand, these people and their pipe low. Let's relax. Let's take it one step at a time. I love stories one step at a time. I was in school one day when my grandmother showed up crying that my grandfather was critically ill. I took a taxi from Warri back to Agbaru, which takes 40 minutes. By the time I arrived, it was too late. My grandfather had just died. His feet were still warm. I think I come back from school that day and I remember, no, I think I just finished. Yeah, 95. I just finished secondary school. So just